All right, hey, what's going on? Listen, in this video, I want to talk about how anxiety leads to this excess sense of self-awareness or self-consciousness. And I don't mean this in like some sort of like spiritual way of self-awakening or anything like that. What I'm really referring to is when you're dealing with anxiety, when you're dealing with health anxiety, and you're constantly monitoring how you feel 24/7. And this constant monitoring of you trying to figure out what's going on, why are you feeling this way, can lead to a feeling of feeling detached from the world. Now, a lot of these people call this depersonalization, derealization. I made a video on that, but derealization, depersonalization is just kind of this feeling of unreality where you feel like there's almost like a glass panel between you and the outside world. You almost have like this out of body sensation or some feeling. And really, a lot of it has to do with constantly becoming self-aware, but I wanted to make a separate video on just becoming hyper self-aware, becoming hyper self-conscious. And so if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Shaan, and I struggled with anxiety and panic attacks years ago. Self-awareness was a huge problem, and now I fully overcame it. I no longer have those feelings. So if you guys find the content in this video really useful, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up. Put your comments down below. Is this something you struggle with? It really does help out the channel a great deal, and it allows me to continue producing great content for you guys. So without further ado, let's crack into the video. So let's get a little deeper. So self-awareness is when you just constantly are focusing within yourself, constantly trying to figure out, monitor certain parts of your body that may be kind of scaring you. So, if you're having headaches, you're constantly monitoring, is the headache there? Is it not there? When does it happen? Does it happen when I do this? What about that? It could also be your heart. Why is my heart pumping this way? Why is it pumping faster? You're constantly focused, and it doesn't even have to be that. You can be worried about your own thoughts. You can be worried about that feeling of unreality, of depersonalization, like I mentioned earlier. And this constant 24/7 cycle, where every minute of every waking day you're kind of focused on this, it kind of leads to a habit. And what happens is that when this habit becomes formed, it's hard to connect with real life. So you may notice if you're struggling with anxiety, it's hard for you to read something that's not related to anxiety, like a newspaper or something on your phone. It's very hard for you to have a conversation with somebody. It's just so hard to do all these things. It's so natural for you to focus on yourself and focus on everything that's going on. You find a hard time connecting with everything. And this kind of scares you. You're kind of concerned about, why am I not able to connect with everything else? Why am I not able to focus on things? I'm always focused on myself. And the reason why this is happening is because you haven't gotten answers. You don't know why you're feeling this way. You don't know why your heart's palpitating this way. You don't know why you keep getting these headaches, or why you keep getting stomach upsets, or when you have digestive issues. You haven't been explained why you're getting nausea, why you're getting dizziness. All these kinds of symptoms, you haven't gotten the answers. You've probably, hopefully, you've gone to a doctor already, been ruled out of everything. They give you a clean bill of health, but they don't really explain why this is happening. And what ends up happening is that even though, it's great that you got a clean bill of health, you still haven't got an answer for why you're feeling this way. And because you don't have the answer, you're gonna try to figure it out, because your body feels like it's in threat. It still feels like, even though you've got a clean bill of health and your doctors are giving you assurance, your body still knows, there's something wrong. You just don't know why you feel this way. And so your body your body kind of has this fight or flight response. It's like, look, there's still a perceived threat. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to stay awake, and my fight or flight response is going to be there in case there's a real threat and I need to get out of there, So this cycle is constantly going, and that's why you're probably struggling with this hyper self-awareness as well. So the first thing to recognize is that this is all habit. What you've kind of developed is just this habit of becoming self-aware. If you ruminate on anything 24/7, 7 days a week for a prolonged period of time, it's going to be a habit. The only habit you've kind of created is just you focusing internally within yourself. And once you develop that habit, it's become so strong, it becomes so ingrained that it's hard to connect with the outside world. Now, just like any habit, a habit can be unlearned. But there's a couple of things you need to focus on. This is exactly what I focus on my coaching program, my personal coaching program, which is, the first thing is, we demystify a lot of the anxiety. We kind of help you explain why you're feeling this way, why you're feeling certain symptoms, why you're feeling this way. And believe it or not, that makes such a huge progress. Just people understanding why they're feeling this way and realizing that there's nothing actually wrong physically, even though their symptoms are so strong. That's such a huge monumental breakthrough. And just doing that makes them have leaps and bounds. So the first step is really demystifying why you're feeling this way. Now, the second step is coming up with a solution for, when you feel anxiety. What do you do? How do you deal with it? Now, most of the time people have pretty bad, I would say they've developed habits that are not conducive to overcome anxiety. They've just kind of felt these symptoms and try to do assurance seeking or just try to do things that aren't really productive, that actually keep them in the cycle longer. So what we do is we focus on giving them solutions that actually help break the anxiety cycle, as opposed to, when they, as opposed to what they've been doing before, which is kind of negative reinforcement and focusing on their anxiety. That leads to their anxiety getting worse and worse over time. And then the third thing is just putting yourself in situations that make you very anxious. By step, we kind of help you through that. So just those things alone is actually a great way to really overcome the sense of self-awareness. So hopefully this kind of explained to you guys why you guys are feeling this way, and what steps you really need to do to overcome that. Now I feel like, look, Shaan, that's great. That made a lot of sense. This is exactly what I'm dealing with, but how do I do all those things? Well, if you really want to know, I have a link down below. It's a link to my private Facebook group. In that private Facebook group, I'm posting exclusive content that I'm not posting on YouTube, on Facebook, or any other social media. This is for a group, and in that group, there's some amazing people. These people are serious about fully overcoming anxiety. They're not focused on coping mechanisms or just managing their anxiety. They're focused on long-term freedom. It's a great group. If you want to hit that link down below, it's going to ask you 3 questions, okay? When you hit that link below and hit join, it's going to ask you 3 questions. It's very important that you guys answer those 3 questions. If you don't answer those 3 questions, I can't promise to let you guys in. Obviously, we want as many people in as possible, but we also want to maintain the integrity of the group. We don't want this to be just another group where people are like complaining about their problems, or people are only going when they have high anxiety and then scare everybody else in the group. These are people that are focused on fully overcoming, and I'm helping them step by step. So if that's you, hit that link down below. I'll see you guys inside. Thanks.